Welcome back to Her Shift. PMD survivor, surviving, trauma healing, and women's wellness stories. Got it out in the end. Sorry. It's the braces. We're nearly there. It's been a long journey. That's all I can say. Before we get into today's title, subject, topic, which is so juicy and I'm so excited to share with you, I've just got a little bit of wisdom, a little story from some notes. Looking at CBT to do with my son. To do with his thoughts, to help him overcome some issues he's having to do with childhood anxiety, etc. Come across this story. It's just a very quick one. Dancing with Wolves. I don't think it's the Kevin Costner one, but I thought we could use this. We can apply this. Puts the glasses on. Okay. A white-haired Cherokee is teaching his grandchildren about life. He tells them, "A fight is going on inside me, a terrible night, and it is a fight between two wolves. One wolf represents fear, greed, hatred, anger, envy, pride, self-pity, resentment, guilt, arrogance, deceitfulness, superiority and selfishness. And my big one, shame. The other wolf stands for peace, love, kindness, joy, truth, compassion, humility, transparency, authenticity, friendship, respect, integrity, benevolence, generosity, faith, sharing, serenity, and empathy." I'm surprised the Cherokee could remember all that. The same fight is going on inside you and in every other person too. The child thought about this for a while and then said to her grandfather, the Cherokee, "Which wolf will win?" And the old Cherokee held a long silence and then simply said, "Whichever one you feed." And isn't that the truth? And the reason I've just mentioned that is because it really resonated with my son, and it's so simple when you think about it. Like we have this podcast and I talk about all these tools, resources, tactics, mind-shifting work we can do. But really, it's what we surround ourselves by, what we feed ourselves with, the thoughts that we have, the words we use. And it really does set you up for the way you feel. I really do. Anyway, that massively helped him this week, and long may it continue. I'm just gonna have a sip of tea. So my braces are really on the brink. So this week I'm going to be talking more about mindset in terms of, how we can be happy, how we can live the life of our dreams, how we can be truly successful, whatever that means for us. How to just step out of the stagnant shit of life, how we can move forward, heal. I know my podcast is about healing, but I do struggle with that word because I sometimes think it's too soft, too colloquial, too easy to say. When I think so many of us on here I just want to be happy. I just want it to be easy. I just want to have an easy life. I just want to be goddamn happy. So with that in mind, how do we shift to get the goddamn life we deserve? And we do deserve it. And there are 3 things that I have really noticed about my own journey, my own healing, 3 mindset shifts that I do that have massively, massively helped me. They've helped with my PMDD. They've helped with my depression, my anxiety, my well-being, my view on life, the filter I have over the world, my relationships, the relationships I have with my children, my lobster. Really, really huge growth with these things. But the reason that I'm going to talk about them today is because they're a little bit out there. They will surprise you. They're not the norm. I don't think they really are talked about as such in the self-help books, which makes me think maybe I should. They're just 3 things, and obviously I'm going to make them relevant to me, and hopefully you can then align with that and think about how you could use them, implement them in your own life. Okay, so it's made me realize that so many of us are, I think, not happy, not well. Just feeling pretty shit most days because of lack of movement. And by that, I mean stagnancy. Physical rot, brain rot, okay? We as humans, we stick to what we know, we stay in a comfort zone. We do the same thing day in, day out. And when we do something different, we might have excitement and butterflies about that. A lot of the time it will give us a level of stress, whatever it is. So it could be as simple as picking up the phone and speaking to someone you've not spoken to before. You know the outcome will be good, you know it will benefit you, it might benefit your business, it might help others. But, you know, if there's a slight bit of stress factor on anything, it puts us off doing it. So most people, I believe, are either they don't know what they don't know. They're stagnant, they're stuck, but they are also living in that ignorance is bliss. They don't know what they don't know. They don't care to know. They're happy with the lot, so they tell themselves, and they just keep going, and they just want to stay in that perpetual cycle. It works for them because it might be good, it might be bad, but they are familiar with it. And we as humans, we love a bit of familiarity. There are also the people that jostle with that, as in they think there might be something else to life, they might have a purpose, they think they know what might make them happy, they think there's more to life, they are fighting their own demons. However, it's so scary that over time they've stuffed them down so far, they've gone back into the sleepwalkers of life. They've stuffed down their feelings, their passions, their wants, their desires so much that it's forgotten. It'll probably going to show up as deep-rooted trauma at some point during their life, and they might actually have a mentee B. But it can be done. I know I've sleptwalked through eras of my life, and I've been massively dissociated and numb. It does work. There are those that are well aware that they're not happy, and they're well aware of why. There's things they want to do, there's the way they want to live, there's things they want to achieve. They know they're destined for so much more. They really do see that, and they see that in the world around them, but they are shit scared. Because it is. When something is unknown, or when it requires a leap of faith, or doing something different, and we're little familiar sloths who don't want to do that, it's really, really hard. Most of us, I'd say the majority of humans, fit in that category. We're all like fighting a little personal jostles every day. However, I have noticed that whenever they do make a little movement, not them, me as well, do something a little bit that pushes us, moves us forward, do something different. Might you try a new brand of Kit Kat? I don't know. It does feels good. Feels good somewhere in our body and our soul. It feels good. And then there, of course, are those people that have got their shit together, that they move through life. They are not stagnant. They refuse to be. They keep moving. They keep pushing. They're on the... And apparently maybe one day if you heal to such a level, you will turn into a great big ball of light. Who knows? Okay. So these three things stop that brain rot. They make me question. They make me curious. They make me move forward. Okay. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I'm sorry. Okay. I've talked about this before. The first thing I'm going to talk about, I'm not getting woo-woo, it is practicing gratitude, but it's not as you know it. It's not like in the self-help books, okay? Because I don't like the word gratitude because it makes me think of begging and I have to be grateful for something. It's not that, okay? For me, practicing this type of gratitude is more about a shift perspective of how I view things. It's flipping the narrative. And I do it in a quite a dark way, and I do it with the angel of death theory. And I've talked about this before. It's not usually recommended because saying, oh, you shouldn't think about how bad things could be, or you shouldn't make those comparisons. But for me, it massively, massively helps. It's not to say I hang on to them. And it does come from the whole, when you complain about the food in front of you and, someone would say, oh, there are children starving somewhere in the continent of Africa in the 80s. It's that type of mindset. But the fact is, it's true. There is always someone doing better than you, and there is also someone a hell of a lot worse off. And sometimes I catch myself when I'm having a particularly hard time or I'm struggling with something, and I think about being in that situation. I might be on a frantic phone call to the bank or the school, or I've got to do some paperwork. And in that moment, it really helps me to think I'm actually in a privileged position to be able to do that. Because if I was in a financially less stable position or in a different country, or was born into a different world, that wouldn't even be on my radar. I'm certainly thankful every day that I wake up and I have, and chaos and the kids and hot water and heating and housing and all this. I must never lose sight of that. And I do tell myself that. And it's so apparent, if you've ever the boiler goes and you don't have any hot water and you turn on the shower and it's freezing cold. And in that moment, it's like, God, you would do anything for a hot shower, wouldn't you? And then when it's fixed, you probably feel that, oh, the sweet relief, the gratitude. I probably would feel it for maybe a few hours after that moment. And then it wouldn't take me long to take it for granted. So that's how I get into a state of actually the life I live, which I have chosen to partake in, is a life of privilege. Anything can be flipped that way. The angel of death theory is more, and there is an episode about this, you can check it out, probably about 10 episodes back, where imagine, so I'm nearly 45, and imagine I'm on my deathbed at 90, I'm going. The angel of death says to me, you know, are you happy? Have you lived the life you wanted to? And I'm like, no, I'm not. If I was, if I took how I feel right now to I'm 90, no. Do I get another chance? And the angel of death goes, you know what? I'll give you 45 years, 45 years back. But there is a catch. You will wake up 45 years in the past. You'll get to live the next 45 years again, but you won't know it. And then I think, so what if today I woke up and that had been granted? So today I'm waking up, I'm nearly 45 years old, and I get to live the next 45 years again. There would be so many things I would not give a shit about. There would be so many things I would do differently. There would be so many risks I would take. I would live. I would just, the things that I've cared about, I can imagine like, oh, why would I worry about that? So it just it's quite a dark one. I get it. It's very heavy. But that has really, really helped me. And I think, again, because it really gets the brain going. Any stagnancy that's in the brain, poof. Now, I get that if that's too much for you, or for some people, they'd be like, I ain't going there. I ain't talking that. That is far too heavy. That is too whimsical. That is whatever. If you're listening to this podcast, I don't think you'll be one of those people. So, highly recommend. The second thing that might surprise you, that has massively helped me in my healing journey, is what I call saying no, like Phoebe Buffet. So Phoebe are Friends, yes, I'm from that era. And there's a scene where they ask Phoebe, oh, do you want to come to this event this evening, Phoebes? And she says, no, sorry, I would. But then she goes, but I don't want to. And I took that and I have applied it to so many things that I had been either socially conditioned to accept that I really didn't like doing. And I'm going to name a few. And also just makes me question, first of all, why we do certain things, if they don't bring us any joy, if they only bring us dread, or actually just question the purpose of something in the first place. Like, why as a society do we do that? And most people, I don't know, my mum did it before me and my grandmother before me, or that's what someone down the road does, or, that conformity. So for me, it's like, I ain't doing that because I don't want to. And my God, that feels so empowering. So my list of things that I've I ain't ever doing that again are as follows. Puts the glasses on, and I've listed a few things. Ironing. I've not done the ironing for 15 years. Why? Because I don't effing want to. I hate it. There's a lot of childhood trauma to do with it and stuff like that. I don't see the point, okay? It would just add to my laundry dread. I don't mind doing the laundry as such, because I've got my designer bougie laundry detergents and that. I love the feeling of fresh clothes, of clean clothes. Absolutely effing hate ironing. It gives me no pleasure whatsoever. And you know what? So I've not ironed for 15 years, and I'd say I've pretty much gotten away with it. The only time that I've needed to use an iron is maybe for a really formal occasion and the dress or something needed steaming. And then there was obviously a period when the kids wore a certain type of school shirt, and I would never let them, grease. But literally what I do is I put loads of fabric softener in the wash. I use a tumble dryer. That's what I do. I'm happy to pay for that, for the electricity involved. And the one I've got is got an anti-crease setting. I put it on and then it takes it to a level where it's just not quite dry. I get it out, I hang it up. Seems to be fine. I don't think anyone's noticed. I certainly have. I refuse to do ironing. I take my power back there. You can see how I'm passionate about it. Second one, another thing of that is, you know, when women go to the toilets in groups, like I know we did it when we were teenagers in bars and clubs, probably for a safety reason as well, and I've got no issue with that. But when it became a thing that we'd maybe be out in groups of people as young adults, so, and even into my 30s, and well, I've not done it in my 40s, women go in toilets together in groups. So you might be sat in a restaurant, party of friends, and one woman gets up to go to the toilet and she looks at the other women in the group, who are sat separately to the men, by the way, and goes, you know, as if you're joining her. And I want to say, unless I need a wee in that moment, no, why? Oh God, it gets on my Kit Kats. It really, really does. It's almost like it's just a thing that I don't get. I don't understand where it's come from. I understand the safety aspect when I was 18 and in a nightclub. You know, you would go with a buddy. But, you know, to be sat in a nice restaurant at the age of 35, which I'm obviously not, and to go to the toilet with a group of other women sat at your table, I just find it utterly bizarre. And it's like when I go to the bathroom, I don't know about you, I kind of want my own space. I want my own privacy. I find it strange. So that made me feel like, you know what, I don't do that. And I don't care if everyone else does it. I ain't doing it. So I'm not going to be asked out anymore. I'm not going to have to go to a toilet anytime soon. Going to the bathroom is a sacred space. Respect it. I've put mums groups, full stop. I'm not doing it. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I don't get the point of them. They are toxic as spook. They just are the ultimate comparison thief is joy. They make women feel utterly shit about themselves. And I just think it's like an adult form of female bullying. It's just like, honestly, I had to sign up to a few because sometimes they were useful, like with logistics, you know, if someone's forgotten something or can't find something, or if they can help them out with their kids, absolutely. But you'd have to have a really strict set of rules on that, wouldn't you? Like logistics only group. They're not like that. They're not like that. And just again, it takes me back to teenage years. Now, obviously, we didn't have phones and social media when I was that age, but it makes me feel like that. Like it's just so mean girl and comparison. And it just, I know there's a lot of women that feel the same, but they also feel like they have to, they're obliged to, that they have to conform. So I think that by me saying, I think they are a pile of toxic poo, do not go near them, I ain't doing it. I'd actually like remove myself from all these groups. And recently there was one that I hadn't removed myself from, and I got a notification the other day and it said, Danielle has removed you from the group. And I was like, thanks, cheers, good stuff. I just feel if I talk about this, it might give others the inspiration to give themselves the permission to do it. What else have I got? Oh, this is just for me. It just makes me feel really good if I go, I don't like doing it, so I am not going to do that anymore. And I put X's on text, apart from when it is ironic or a genuine, I want to convey love in it. So, you know, when people, like, this is more of a British thing, I know, but you know, when people just put an X like on every single text, whatever the text is about, like I've even had passive aggressive bitchy text off people with an X on the end. The only people that I put X's on the end to are, I'll say my children. You know what? I don't. Apart, like if I'm saying to my daughter, I love you, or it's like a really heartfelt text, I put like a heart emoji, but otherwise, no. I don't put them on with any of my friends apart from my two closest friends because there's like, and not on every text, and it's only when there's like, you know, it's a bit more emotive or I'm thinking about you, I love you, then we will do it. But the whole hi hun kiss, like, it's strange, right? If you want, especially if you're going to use that X regardless. I know that it's my lobster knows how I feel about X's on text, so therefore I think I've actually screenshot the one time I put it on sort of by accident because I thought I was replying to someone else, and he actually ripped me about it for ages. He's like, did you just put a kiss on the end of that text? It's like, no. So again, it just makes me feel I'm questioning that. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to get into text etiquette. So therefore I'm not doing it. Also, I don't think it's professional. I don't like it. I'm all for a heart, by the way. I don't like it. Don't like it. And the Americans find it strange anyway. I mean, like, I've got a load of American friends and followers and work with people over the pond, and they find it really weird. So I'm totally in agreement with you. And then I've put martyrdom. Martyrdom in general. So if we, as women especially, have got to have that humility about us, like going, oh, oh, you look great. Oh, I don't. Oh, it's just something I threw on. Oh, no, I barely wear makeup. Oh, I don't have the time. I don't deserve it. And we just all get a little bit more real. And when I see someone online or in real life and they look great, in my opinion, I'll go, they look great. I want to look great too. I want to feel great. And I don't want to be apologetic about that. Like any treatments or plastic surgeries or anything like that, I want to own. I want to say, absolutely. I've made that decision because I want to do it. Hair care, skincare, clothes, jewelry, nails, the whole shebang. You know, these are investment. If you can't see me, you can only hear me. I'm showing my claws off. These are an investment. My appointments are on automation every 3 weeks. I get so much from it. I love my nail tech. I had great conversations with her. She's such a lovely person. She's very talented. I love my nails. They make me feel really good about myself. And when someone compliments me on them, if it's like a passive aggressive compliment, because I get it, they might be a little bit slutty. I go, well, they're my OnlyFans nails. I just say, oh, thank you. Yeah, I know my nail tech is amazing. I love them too. Thank you. Just own it. Stop with the martyrdom. Okay? Be that, unapologetic about how you want to be, how you want to look. Don't stay small. Show up as is, and sometimes you are not going to look great, feel great, all that. Own that too. It's like with the, your choices in houses, cars. I don't know. Anything that makes you, fills your cup, makes you happy. Sorry, my lobster's messaging me. Something to do with pies? Okay. Anyway, I do like pies. So yeah, stop with the martyrdom, stop with the humility, be unapologetic, own it. It's a good energy. So I am not going to be a martyr. I do not do that. And then the last thing I put at the bottom is the news in general. And if I could watch like the news and it would have the same effect on me as like a soap opera, a drama series, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, something nice and trashy, something that's not going to, affect me ongoing or make me question my life choices, the news would be great. But I had this moment a while back where I did actually study media at university. I know, shocking. And back then it wasn't online. We had to buy all the newspapers most weeks and read and compare. And it's obviously realizing that they're always going to be biased. We can be fed anything. There is so much doom and gloom and absolute toxic negativity on it. Obviously, like I know on the local news, occasionally at the end of the news, you might get an uplifting, positive story, but it is quite rare. And I was watching, I think it was like a video clip on X, on Twitter, and I follow like the trashy side of the royal family, if that makes sense. Like I view it like the crown. It just interests me. Like I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm a royalist, but equally I'm not, I just find them interesting and funny. It's like they're posh celebrities, and I'm interested in the historical side of things. I thought the crown was really funny. I just find it interesting, let's say, and I'm into the whole royal wedding thing anyway, and I quite like a tiara. Anyway, so there was stuff to do with like Harry and Meghan and Mexit, William and Kate, everything like that. And then I realised, I was like, this is either Fox News or Sky News or something like that. And they've got 4 journalists on a panel discussing the latest updates from the palace. Now, this is nothing to do with anyone's life. This is not to do with massive, like a big, what do we do? Well, God, what do we have? Like inauguration, an anniversary. I'm sorry, my mind's gone blank. Is this like a But the point I'm trying to make, what I'm saying is there was no big announcement from the palace. It was just ongoing sources say, gossip, trivial thing. And they had, journalists and a panel, and they were arguing about it. And one side was Meghan and Harry, and one side was William and Kate pro people. And it was just like, what? Why? Who cares? We don't know. Yes, the odd bit of gossip, it's interesting. What? Like, I'm actually can watch news on this, on something that's got nothing to do with me or have no impact on my life. Like this, like that is a type of brain rot I do not sign up for. It's just bad. So for me, unless the news could be, oh, and loose women can get in that pile as well. Like, just what is the point, honestly? Unless the news was purely logistics. So it's like going, oh, there's been an accident somewhere, there's a train shortage, flight path is closed down, the weather's going to be this. The weather's useful, absolutely. Something like that. That to me is all the news is good for, because the actual overall vibe and how biased it is, not a fan. I think it's more dangerous than social media in so many ways, especially as it just plays, on in the background, and the fact that the two merge together. Yeah, I'm going, no, not doing it. Now, I know my lobster is a fan of Sky News and he has it on in the background when he's working. I don't think subliminally it's good for you, baby. Anyway, no. So I don't do that. So I don't do ironing. I don't go to toilets in groups. I don't partake in mum's groups. I don't put kisses on the end of texts unless I am showing my adoration and love for that person. I don't sign up to martyrdom, and I say no to the news. And that, having that Phoebe buffet, I would, but I don't want to, has been incredibly liberating and massive in my healing, because it has made me be decisive and go, this is me, this is what I like, but in this case, this is what I do not like, and I don't like it, and I'm not going to give it any more airspace, apart from the last 10 minutes where I've just gone on about it a lot. And the third thing, I'm going to say reading books, however you consume it. That type of, so non-fiction, education. I don't see how any form of reading or audio reading, podcast, an educational resource like that could ever be negative. And I say that in a sense that even if you try to get into a book and you get halfway through and you're really having to push yourself because you're really struggling with it, you're not aligning with it, you don't feel it's doing anything for you, first of all, I'd say, like, leave it there. Don't push yourself. You'll just become resentful. But even if you drop that book halfway through, you will take something from it. If anything, it's a case of, I didn't like that book because. Books are my joy. They fill me up. They give me ideas. They nourish my soul in so many ways. Some books I love. There's very few books that I hate. There's a lot of books that I'm indifferent to, but all provide an experience in some form. All books, and I'm not just non-fiction, actually, fiction as well, they are the opposite of the rot to my brain. If you've not got like a type of necrosis going on in your frontal lobe, which I think I did, however you consume educational material is the opposite of that. It will counteract it. It is like a cure for brain rot. It is like a cure for frontal lobe necrosis. It is that movement in that brain. It's that questioning effect. It's like that, I never thought that. And if I'm honest, it was the reason I started Her Shift, was like that shift, that moment, the fact that the idea, I've never thought about that. I've never questioned that before. Why did I not know this? And when I learn something new, which I do every day because I read every day in some form, I don't ever feel silly. I don't go, how did I not know that? I think if anything, I'm just grateful that I'm like, I now do. And the idea that that could ever be taken away from me, when people talking about you've got to make budget cuts, and, a generation a little bit younger than me, I'm sorry if you're going through that, where you have to cut your Netflix and not have your coffee because then you'll be able to buy a house. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Obviously, certain budget cuts. When COVID hit, I wasn't in a great place financially. I was going through a divorce. and I did make a lot of cuts. And one of the things that I refused to remove, because I had a lot of subscriptions and things going on, was my Audible subscription, which was, I think, $7.99 a month. And I refused to get rid of that. When I talk about things being quite desperate, during that year, obviously McDonald's was closed, and my kids love McDonald's, and they do look at it as a real treat though. And there was a point where I don't think my daughter had a McDonald's for 4 months. And when it eventually opened, I took her to the drive-through, and there was obviously a queue, and we had to wait about 40 minutes for her to get her meal. I could only afford to get her the McDonald's. And I remember her saying to me, can you not get one? Are you not getting anything, Mum? And I went, oh no, I'm fine, I'm really full. So for me, it wasn't small change, $7.99 to have this Audible. But to me, it was like, if I remove that, or if I don't have books, or that, if there aren't, if someone removed my podcast, or if I didn't have my phone as a tool to, consume these things, the impact that would have on my life, I think I would go back into that sleep state of ignorance. I really, really do. But conversely, to have that is so, like, I cannot stress this enough. And it's one of the reasons why I've started the room. You probably heard in the intro, I've always wanted my own book club. But even the title book club sounds a little bit, old-fashioned. But I was like, no, I want us to devour books, rip into books, find books we love, find books we hate, have an opinion on it, talk about it, learn, grow, get real, get raw. So I have started the room, and it's non-fiction transformation book club, and it's a secret podcast. I would love you to check it out. So it's on Patreon. Links are in the show notes. But yeah, that was my main driving force before having the room, and I really oomed and ahed about it for a really long time before going, no, this is my passion. I effing love books and self-development and education and non-fiction. I like fiction too, but I put it in a different part of my brain almost. It's like I have to be very selective because I don't want anything too dark or too heavy. And again, even with fiction, I'm going to listen to it. I'm not going to actively read it. And I think I'd probably save it more for times when I'm on my own, maybe on holiday, which is far and few between. So yeah, that's a different thing. But the room is about non-fiction and self-development and healing and safe space for women and community. It's like a secret corner of Her Shift. And as you can see, I absolutely love it. It's almost like, God, it's just making me realise that is so important to me, which then raises the question, what is so important to you? What fills you up? What stops your brain rotting? What would you be like if that was taken away from me, like other than people? What would that, what would have the biggest impact on you? And I have to say, for me, maybe in a way, so it would be my phone. Not, in terms of the communication, but yeah, the fact that that's how I consume information. And that just, I can feel like even talking about it now, it lights a fire in me, and it nourishes that part of my little Her Shifty soul. So coming down off the ceiling there, about 3 things that have been so implemental to me and my healing, that have maybe gone, actually, I don't think you'd find those things in, bro marketing, how do these 20 things in 20 days and you will be successful. Those aren't your usual healing stuff. Give it a go, or be inspired by it, or tell me yours. What has been something like a big healing shift for you that is not the norm, that will surprise you, that we might not have thought about? I just feel like by sharing this stuff, these shifts, this is what her space, it's my space, it's Her Shift. That's what it's all about. And that's what's going to build Her Shift, build the community. Apparently, I have to say as well, apart from promoting the room, please check it out. I would love to see you there. One of my marketing strategists told me to sign up for Buy Me a Coffee. Because I actually thought, that meant I had to, any money donated, I had to actually buy a coffee with. I know. strong, capable woman, right? Apparently it's not. Apparently it's just another way of being paid and building a business and growing my services and accepting contributions. Anyway, I've kept it as buy me a coffee. Apparently you can change it to buy me a rosé. I will put a link in the bottom. Check it out. See what you think. I'm still not completely understanding about it. I think, is it like sort of like a mainstream version of like Facebook when they do stars, or OF when you can give tips? So I've heard. Anyway, I hope that has been useful in some way. I hope that maybe you have been surprised by those 3 things. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you go, do you know what? I've been doing those for years. If that's the case, please tell me so. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you all anyway. And it only leaves me to say, please remember that you are doing amazing. You are stronger than you think. Please do keep going. I'm always here. And as always, sending all my love.